The adventure continues as our party, Nyx, the reincarnated rogue, Rinverhi, the holy sun worshipper, Bran, the monster hunting ranger, and Kenopsia, the DreamWalker amnesiac, explore the mysterious dreamscape in their Pristine Dreams. You guys look towards this area that Rinverhi kind of said this way and was like kind of gesturing, let's run that way. And as you guys look over, you notice a shadowy figure standing there in the corner, and they kind of look up at you and they're kind of standing sideways, like to kind of narrow their profile. And you can see there's kind of an alleyway-ish thing right in this area where they're hiding in. And as you take a peek down there, you see Maenalus in the alleyway, and he's beckoning you guys, like, come here, this way. And he's looking a little worse for wear. He looks a little sick and just like worn out. But you do see there are just some pedestrians like looking down in the end, like, oh my God, is there a fire? What's going on? You know?
The prince.
Fire, that's unusual in these areas. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, pretty much. They're like, holy shit.
Holy fuck, I've never seen fire in my whole life.
Yeah.
That's what fire is? Crazy.
Wow, it's
Wow.
I never knew it'd be so pretty. They should have sent a poet. You know?
Yeah. And seeing the prince, after putting Bran down, he's gonna very quickly tap Bran. He's just like, look, the prince.
I see.
Let's go. That's
That's what I've been saying. Let's go,
Lauren. Let's go. Twice as fast. Go. It's away, never to be seen again.
All right, so yes, you guys are out of combat now, and you look down the alleyway and you see Prince Maenalus standing there, and he's kind of beckoning you guys, even though he looks a little bit like weak and a little sick, and he's like, come.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Rinverhi is already like, come on, everyone. Would you mind if I just like do a quick cure wounds on Kenopsia?
No, that's totally fine. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, like Rinverhi, I think he's like gesturing and ushering everybody to go ahead, and he notices Kenopsia is not looking well, and then he just like puts a hand on his back, and he's like, come on, you're right, and then casts a little cure wounds on him.
I don't think I'm all right.
You will be.
And
he gets 15 back.
Ooh, nice.
Thank you, my darling.
Gives him a little kiss.
Yeah.
You're okay now.
Okay.
All right, so
that is 28 HP for Kenopsia.
nice. So as you
Seeing
guys,
this, I think Brant's also going to do a cure wounds on Kay.
Oh, you guys like
Group cure.
Group cure. It's a little less effective at 4 HP.
something.
4 HP is 4 HP.
Every
Yeah.
bit helps, man.
Mm-hmm.
So
Thank you.
you guys are
I rolled
casting.
2.
You guys are casting your spells there and healing each other up. And Maenalus is just like, let's go. And as you guys approach him, he kind of like flips his hood up, you know, and he's like gesturing like, do the same, you know?
Kenopsia is already doing it. Pulling the cloak, the hood of it over his head. And, he's holding his shoulder as, as they start to walk.
So Maenalus turns away from you guys and starts kind of walking down the alley, and he's got his cloak and all on, and you can see people are starting to gather around, and he's just kind of cutting through them like, Assassin's Creed style. And people are more and more coming out of the buildings, and they're like, oh my God, is that fire? Oh, fire. And there's a troop of guards that come running down. And let's have everyone roll a stealth check.
Come on, man.
13.
10.
10?
11.
I think I straight up rolled a 1. I did.
Okay.
Oh my god.
No.
Fuck. The rogue rolled a 1.
Oh my god.
We're fucked. We're fucked.
So you guys are walking along there, right? And 3 of you are kind of blending into the crowd of people. And as the guards go running past, you see there's another like troop of 3 of them. And the first guy runs past, clanking his armor. The second guy runs past. And right as the third guy is running past you, you guys hear like kind of like a young child be like, "Is that a monster?" And they're kind of pointing up at you, Nyx. And that last guard kind of hears that and like looks at you and kind of does this like to look under your cloak kind of thing, because the kid can look up and see you. So he's like, "What?" And he's kind of looking and he's like he's going to say something, you know? And he just gets absolutely dunked on from behind as Maenalus just comes down and slams him in the back of the head.
Oh shit.
And this guy's like, you know? And now
Well
people
done,
are like,
Prince.
yeah, people are like, "Oh my God." Oh. And Maenalus just kind of fluffs his cloak around with one hand and kind of does it in a like, "Don't look at us" kind of motion. And now he's moving quickly through the crowd there. And,
With
what
haste.
do you guys do?
Yeah, Kenopsia
Can I-
will match his step. Go ahead.
Yeah,
Okay.
can I help aid this like, or like do a distraction as we're trying to slip away? And like are we walking through like some sort of market space, anywhere with like boxes or stuff around?
This seems more like a residential area. So there are like the plants and things that people have on their front porch or whatever. And there's lots of people now. Like you have to imagine the street is like getting more and more dense with people as the seconds go by.
Okay. Sorry, hold on, let me look at my stuff. Oh, I can't make a sound. Dang it. Never mind. Like, yeah, Rinverhi is just gonna go along with everybody because I was thinking he was gonna do another telekinetic shove to push something, but if the place is like packed with people, he doesn't want to accidentally hurt somebody
Okay, fair
with
enough.
this stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so you take a moment to consider it and then follow along.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so you guys are making your way down the street. I imagine Nick's kind of tucking their cloak a little harder around. And
I think what Kay will do is like he is trying to kind of like obscure Nyx
okay.
with his body.
Yeah, because no matter what, like I was like, she probably doesn't even bother with a cloak because of her horns.
Yeah, she's got horns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has horns. So Kay will just, Nyx, come here. And he will just kind of, beckon her closer and just kind of like, hold his cloak out some to, shield her and also block anyone else that might be looking their way.
And
yeah.
just so you know, if you think Nyx doesn't normally have a hooded cloak, you definitely got Madame Rava's hooded cloak.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, so I guess that's what she's using,
Okay.
Mm.
So you finally don Madame Rava's cloak there.
Yeah, and
Right.
stays with Kay.
You're imbued with all sorts of magical powers. Now that'd be hilarious though, right? Like you never put it on. It's like so yeah, you tuck up the kind of cloak and the 4 of you guys are kind of working quickly through this crowd now. And you hear kind of the murmuring of people being like, "Is that the prince? Oh, is that the prince? Is it Maenalus? Oh. And how far are you guys following this guy? It seems like he's going down a couple blocks, like he's moving.
I would follow him until he stops.
Okay.
Yeah, Kay is not straying. Like, if he was beckoning us for us to follow him, then Kay is going to trust his judgment. He knows this place better than any of us. And so Kay is just like, okay, I'm going to have faith in him. And I'm going to choose to trust him.
All right.
So yeah, I think unless anyone stated otherwise, we're all moving together.
All right. So as you guys are moving down, you're cutting kind of down one street, up another street, and very quickly you guys are kind of, I don't know where the hell I am anymore. But another troop of guards comes running up, and Maenalus kind of has his head down in front of you guys. And like I said, he hasn't really looked back at you. But from underneath his cloak, just one arm points down an alley to your guys' right. And he kind of like stops and turns his head, and he's just kind of waiting there. Like,
okay. If he's going to point to the right, Kay is going to, very subtly look to his companions, and while he's still guiding Nyx, I think he's going to, help guide her as they turn, and just very quietly murmur, "This way."
All right. So as
Bran
you guys
is going to switch his hunter's mark from the guard captain to Maenalus and follows Kay's instruction.
Nice.
Cool. All right. Noted. Very, very smart. As you guys move in, let's have everyone just roll a flat D20, and I want to see who's the last person to turn the corner there. Unless you think one of you is specifically going to go last.
I'll roll dice for fun.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll
11.
rolling dice is fun. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Rinverhi got a 14.
Nice. All right, so we got a 14 and an 11.
That's a 9.
And a 6 for a
Oh.
Bran got the 1.
Did we burn your nat 20 on that, Bran? All right, so the lowest person I would
right.
assume is the person that goes last, but since you got a nat 20, I'll give you the choice, Bran. Do you want to go first or last?
Oh, I got a nat 1.
Oh, you got a nat 1. Okay, you definitely go last then. Yeah. So everyone's peeking down the alley there, and for whatever reason, you get a whimsy of intrigue. Like you're like, oh, what's going on? And you kind of hesitate for a second to look. And as the guards start to approach, Maenalus kind of whips around and he grabs you hard on your shoulder, and he just starts like laughing in your face, like, oh my God, do you believe that fire? Oh my God. Like a crazy person. What do you do?
I think it's just full shock, because I think I could see Bran like being the last to follow just out of curiosity, because like it's like if Lycaon and the rest of his sons were lycanthropes, it goes to follow that he'd also be a lycanthrope, and is curious about that, and then just being pulled aside by him and such a switch of tone just kind of puts Bran in shock for a moment.
So you're just stunned, just like.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the guards run behind you guys, and they kind of have a look like these dipshits, and they run past. And as soon as they get like kind of out of earshot of that heavy armor, Maenalus stops and is like, don't dally, go. And you get that sense that like, oh, he was kind of just trying to act like a foolish commoner.
Hiding
and,
in plain sight.
Yeah, throw them off by
Yeah.
being obtrusive in a sense where they're like, fucking weirdo. But he does kind of push you down the alley and points like, go down this way. And roll a perception check for me, Bran, if you would.
That's 9.
9? Okay. So you kind of look down the alley and you're like, oh man, like this looks like an unfriendly alley, like it's dirty and musty and probably where people throw their poo out at the end of the day. And it kind of slopes downwards, and it seems like you're going down the wrong direction of this thing. But it does seem like a place the guards aren't going to go.
Mm-hmm. I think he like gets close to like him for a moment. It's just like, we'll talk later, and follows.
Okay. So yeah, Maenalus kind of nods and you guys head down the rest of the way. As you guys kind of get down, this is sort of a long alley, like a city block long alley. And you guys get down to the far end of it, and it kind of branches off where it seems like a couple of alleys all funnel into this area that is very sewer-like, like it's almost like it leads into an aqueducty type thing of some kind here. And what's interesting is that as all of you look at it, you recognize like the elegance of ancient cultures in terms of like there is moving water and stuff here, but it also has that devil may care attitude of like the more traditional medieval era that you guys are in. Almost like these people are misusing the ancient aqueducts that are here, whether out of, ignorance or malice is hard to say. But it does seem like a weird marriage of the two cultures in one spot. But as you guys kind of get here, now there are several directions to go. And which direction do you guys head, or do you wait, or what do you think?
When posed with like different options, I feel like personally Rinverhi would want to wait. So like seeing a whole bunch of tunnels, he would stop and like kind of look back, wait for his companions.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So as Bran and Maenalus kind of catch up, all of you guys converge in this maybe 10-foot round kind of area. That's the convergence of all these different little alleys. And as Maenalus closes in, he kind of takes a look behind him to check. And he looks down this alley and down that alley. And he's just like, we need to get you off the street. We need to get you somewhere where you can lay low. Those guards will be scouring the city for you. My father and my brothers, while they are surely injured, even a fall like that would not kill them. They will be hunting you. They will hunt you until the sun rises. We need a place for you to hide.
Why are you helping
Some
us?
family you have. Why are you helping us? That's true.
Because of my family. Because of the way that they
Are you not also
are.
a lycanthrope?
I am, yes. But there's been many a blood mood that I have passed up. I fight the curse as hard as I can. I refuse it. And that is why I am left in the Black Forest over and over again. To kill on the blood moon. To accept my blood right as a lycanthrope and the power that comes with it. I have thus far refused. And have been punished time and again for it. This time, no thanks to you, punished worse than ever. But still, maybe you can rid me of this once and for all. And let's have everyone roll a perception check. Bran, you can roll with advantage.
Dirty 20.
Ooh.
That is a 10 for K.
Nice.
Got it.
Oh, that
I got a 12.
advantage helped. That's a 17.
17. Okay. Rinverhi, with that dirty 20, you're the first to notice. And as your eyes kind of lock on, everyone else sort of notices you noticing and then notices. And you guys all realize slowly but surely that Maenalus now only has one arm. And his left arm is missing.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Was that arm where he had the disease before?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Does the arm seem to be like wrapped up, bandaged, treated at all?
It's like gone at the shoulder.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Like you can kind of see from the picture, like he's kind of holding his cloak a little closed to like not show it off. But yeah, you can see that droop on the left side there, like his shoulder is gone.
The disease. What was that? Your arm.
Oh, and he kind of pulls the cloak closer now, like a little bit embarrassed for a second. And he's like, being shot with a silver arrow will always leave that kind of wound for our kind. My arm is punishment. Give it to my father.
Come with us.
Wretched.
You're an honorable man.
You are wounded. If If only there was some place we could go where you could seek treatment, but I know not these streets.
Rinverhi remembers Stavos.
Why don't you roll an insight check?
21.
Okay. You remember exactly the directions that guy said to you earlier about where his house was or his shop was.
He was very insistent.
Yes, exactly. Like, remember he mentioned several times, like, I have a place right in this district down here. It's right next to so-and-so. And you were like, no, at the time.
Yeah. We'll come later, dude.
Yes. But in this heat of this emergency, you're just like, I remember he said he was on 48th and 2nd. You know?
No, that's marketing. Yeah.
If you say that to Maenalus, he's just like shocked that you know somebody here.
Yes, I remember that there's a man, Stavos. He said he had some sort of healing business here. I remember where he directed us before.
He was very insistent.
I feel like Rinverhi has sobered up fast, and that's why he's like rolling on her now.
Yeah. Well, considering you threw up, that always helps. That gets you back on track.
Threw up and saw a teenager rip his skin off and become a wolf, and then lightning set a house on fire.
You're like, I saw a house get blown up today. You know?
Yeah.
So you can see Maenalus kind of searching his thoughts, and he's like, that is near here. We can probably make it. Would you trust that man with your life?
I don't know where else to turn. Otherwise, we stay here in the sewers.
What was that, Juno?
I fear we have nowhere else to go.
I hate to say, but do you at least feel like you could overpower him if it came to it?
I would.
Kenopsia flexes his good arm.
Rinverhi
Bran also flexes.
They're flexing, and Rinverhi is like, a terrible thought, but I believe, yes.
Maenalus notices your like when you flex that your other shoulder is mangled up, and definitely clearly recognizes that it's a bite, and he looks alarmed for a second, where he's like,
yes.
If this man is a healer, we need to get there quickly.
I would like to make haste.
My thoughts exactly.
I don't know what this entails, but I will say this. I don't feel good.
Then let's go.
Make haste.
Please.
And he takes a second to kind of zoop, and then he goes down that alleyway there.
Yeah.
Follow after. Little ducklings.
Yeah.
Hood's back up.
Kay puts his hood back up and is just gonna, keep holding his shoulder, and is just like, I think his mind's racing because he's like, fuck. He was not, like, when he was brawling with that thing, he was not werewolf. What's the worst that could happen? But the thing is, Kay isn't a monster hunter, right? Kay is not anywhere near as knowledgeable when it comes to, like, he knows of these things, but I don't think he knows that lycanthropy can be spread throughout a bite. Right. And he just knows that when he was bit, I don't think he knows that he's what this entails, but I don't think he feels too hot. And
Bran
he's just kind of
did shout don't get bitten.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like after
that's
after
true. That's
true.
But that was too little, too late. You know. Yeah. And I think I think for a minute he thinks about that, and then it hits him like a delayed, a delayed reaction of, oh, I'll turn if I don't fix this. And Kay looks at Maenalus and how he only has one arm now, and he feels, he already runs pretty cold, but now he feels pretty icy.
Does any of this show on Kenopsia, this worry?
I don't know. I think Kay is really good at poker face. But I think there is a very just his brows are furrowed. He looks concentrated.
Well, let's do this.
I think Bran brushes his hands against Kay's. Or brushes a hand against Kay's.
Why don't Kenopsia? Why don't you make a like a wisdom saving throw, and we'll see how much of this you keep close to the chest, or how much you can't help but express.
Fuck me. That's a nat 1.
Yeah, another great roll. Okay.
Oh,
so
yeah, nat 1.
Yeah, nat 1. You're like, oh god, no! Imminent peril.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
He thinks he's hiding it pretty well, but I think his jaw is clenched. He's very tense. His hands are shaking. He's I think he's bordering on a panic attack a little bit.
Like in your head, you're like this. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But in real life, you're like
cold sweat,
freaking out, dude.
Yeah. He's not doing too hot.
Okay. So you guys are following Maenalus, and again, this is going to take a little bit of time to get there. Do you want to try to ask him anything on the way, Kenopsia, or are you just going to try to keep it together to get where somewhere safe first?
I think he'll ask a few questions. Okay. So he's just, you're all lycanthropes, werewolves. Yeah.
He's got his cloak up, and he's like, yes. Yeah. My whole family has been cursed with this for as long as I can remember. It's a family curse. It is.
I'm sorry.
A few of us, like me, we don't like what it entails. Having to kill the innocent, eat raw meat, and deny the gods we once worshipped.
Kay thinks about the meat they ate earlier, and he gets a little more tense because eating people, chasing down in. And he's just like, I'm not saying they're cannibals, but I think don't make that fucking face. I'm pointing at you.
Just saying, like, that's weird.
I'm pointing at you right now. I'm pointing at you.
Yeah.
I'm pointing at you.
He definitely.
Okay.
Maenalus is definitely getting a sense of like your visible worry, that nat 1 worry, like he's seeing it, and he's kind of like trying to be like very, very casual, but he takes a second and he reaches up and he grabs the back of your armor, like right above your back to kind of halt you in place. And he like wants to meet eyes with you. So he's kind of pulling you hard, like, hey.
Yeah.
And
okay. We'll look at him.
He's looking you in the eye, man. He's like, hey. Uh-oh, my button stopped doing anything. All right, I'm not gonna
no. Button!
I know, I was going to do the funny eye close-up thing, but I guess I'm not going to.
Just come closer.
I know, just do it manually.
Hey.
Yeah.
No, but he does. He pulls you over and he's like, listen. You were bit tonight. You have till the next full moon before you will turn. Calm your nerves. We'll try to help you before then. And he kind of lets you go.
Yes. Okay. And Kay will nod, just like, until the next one. And he'll like look up to the sky briefly to see the full moon.
Oh, great! Make a wisdom saving throw as you look at the full moon.
you expedited the process. But Rinverhi is watching Maenalus handle this. He's impressed with this composure. He's like, this is different from the prince we saw in the Black Forest.
I don't know if you were serious about that other wisdom save, but I got a 9.
Okay, you got a 9?
The dice want me dead. I'm gonna make I think this is like Kay, like when Kay looks up at the moon, I don't even think he thinks about it, I think this is some like it is some like before, like I think he's thinking about Asteria.
Yeah.
I think he's thinking about her. And I don't even think the moon is where his eyes go to first. I think he looks at the stars.
Sure.
And he is counting them, and he is just like, Lady Asteria, please help me. please pray for my salvation. And then he looks at the moon.
Yep. And your eyes kind of get bigger for a second, and you feel this like a lure, like a moth looking at this great big light in the sky. And for a moment, you can hear your heartbeat, just that like. And just from within your chest, you can feel this like.
Oh God.
Little growl, and then you hear distinctly in your head this voice just be like, calm yourself. And you're just like kind of shaken back out of it. And Rinverhi, you and Nick see Kay just standing in the alley staring at the sky.
Yeah, Kay is like staring at the sky, and I think it's like when it like Rinverhi and Nyx like clock him, Kay like looks to them, and it's like the light reflects off his eyes, like you're looking at like a dog in the night, and he's just like, we need to go quickly.
I think seeing how distracted Kenopsia is just looking at the moon. And hearing like, hey, you have until the next full moon, and like obvious connection to the moon with this disease. Rinverhi, he'll like sort of step up and just sort of like block the light with or the moon from his vision with his cloak.
Eclipse.
Yeah. Let's go, Kenopsia.
All right, so you kind of get back in the rhythm of moving along, and you're catching up to Maenalus and Bran. And you're ducking through an alleyway this way or that way, and every now and again, Maenalus kind of looks around like he's like, fuck, I think, and then he'll like go this way, and then stop and turn back and go that way. Like you said, he doesn't hang out kind of in these lower parts of town much.
Right.
Every once in a while, you guys do see a garrison kind of running by, or you see them harassing some people, and it's easy to take a route that kind of avoids them at this point because the city is so bustling. And after, maybe 15 or 20 minutes of moving briskly through the city, but trying not to draw attention to yourselves, you guys finally spot this apothecary station on the corner of one of these streets. And you don't really recognize the name because it's in a language you do not speak. But you are surprised to find that in regular common, it says apothecary underneath the name of the shop.
Perfect.
And
one thing Rinverhi wants to ask along the way, he asks Maenalus, this lycanthropy, is this a secret among the royal family, or is this something known to the people?
And Maenalus is like, everyone in Arcadia knows of my father and his condition and who he is. It's a very proud thing among most of the people here. A lot of people wish to attain what we have. It grants us a virtual everlasting life, however long this curse, or however many downsides come with this curse. The thought of living for centuries appeals to most people.
That makes me a bit hesitant in our plan and going to Stavos, who is a citizen of your kingdom.
Oh, and he waves his hand around like, these people, my father would never degrade his precious bloodline by giving these people lycanthropy.
All right. So there's no danger of Stavos thinking, hey, if I help the king, maybe I can get this gift. Air quotes.
As you said, you think you can take him if he does.
A nod. It's not like we have any other choices. I just wanted to try to be a bit cautious.
Maenalus is like about to cross the street, and he looks at you and he's like, let's just hope he doesn't have any kids. And he goes walking across the street.
Oh my god. Hey, how many brothers do you have?
And he's like, what? And he's like,
yeah.
I'm 40-something.
Jesus.
Bran tops on air. Yeah. Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah, I thought I saw your little brother with 2 more 40. Wow.
Yes, most of them have settled other cities in the name of Arcadia. But Angkor and Canethus are too foolish to leave in charge of an outhouse. But if you need someone torn to pieces, they're the first to volunteer.
They looked rather mad. Rather vicious.
Absolutely. Ankior is... At times, I'm not even sure he's human anymore. His mind seems to be that of only an animal. But Canethus, his mind seems to be only of evil, hatred, destruction.
Is this a symptom of the lycanthropy, or that is just their nature?
Yeah, I feel like no, they're just assholes, man. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, do they just suck, or do they need to be healed or something? I mean...
No, as I said...
Those who abuse power seek power.
Yes. Most embrace this curse as though it's some sort of birthright, some sort of gift for them to deny the gods. But that's just a spin my father put on things. He was cursed by the gods. He tries his best to convince everyone otherwise, that he's doing something righteous by denying them. But what kind of god would let my father be the way that he is? Kill outsiders, eat them? It's madness.
And how did the gods betray your father? What does he think the gods did?
And he stops for a second and he's like, we can't just talk in the street.
I'm so sorry. I thought we were already inside.
That's okay. Yeah, I assume you're like trying to get across the street, and he's like, bro, can we get inside?
Yeah.
Hey,
no, you know what? If we just stand here, like, we belong.
Yeah. Kay is just standing there, like, kind of like swaying on his feet a little bit, and he's just like, can we please go inside?
Sorry, I thought like we could like place this as them walking along, but Rinverhi will be like, oh yeah.
But again, he just doesn't want to talk too much in the street, so he's just trying to be like, let's get inside. So you guys walk over to the front of the apothecary. It definitely has like a little piece of signage like there that he looks at, like Maenalus takes one look at, and he's just like, pfft, and he just boom, 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 just bangs on the fucking door. So I think it's safe.
I don't know how to read. Open the door.
I think it's safe to assume.
This can't stop me.
Yeah, it's like, whoa, this sign can't stop me if I never learn to read.
Right.
But no, it's more like it'd be safe to assume that it probably says closed, and he's just like, don't care.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he raps on the door for a little bit, and no one seems to come answering.
Just presses face really close to the glass to see if there's anyone inside.
You can kind of look, and you can see that there are lanterns lit in there, and roll a perception check.
Okay. That was a single digit number.
Okay.
9.
Oh.
9.
Okay. You definitely, even with a 9, you just hear someone be like, rah, rah, rah. Like they shouted
just
something.
raps on the glass some more.
Okay. If you knock on the glass some more, you definitely clearly hear this time someone be like, we're closed for the night.
Emergency.
He's like, tomorrow morning.
Stavos. You
can't
pitched a
wait
really
tomorrow.
Impressive business pitch.
And you kind of hear this like commotion, and a head kind of pokes out from like behind the racks, and he's like, oh, he's like, you see Stavos, and he's kind of making his way to the front door, like putting down stuff and being like, whoa, whoa, whoa. He's fixing up his hair. And he comes and he opens up the he's like unlocking it and everything. And then he opens up the front door for you guys and is like, you outsider from before. And the prince is on his feet now. This is welcome.
Yeah, I think as he's talking, Rinverhi will do the shush motion. Like, do not, like, he holds a finger to his own lips, like, shh, don't talk too loud about this. Yeah.
Yeah.
And is like, yes, Rinverhi, yes, we met earlier. Maybe come in. It's quite urgent.
For the prince, of course. And he welcomes you guys inside. As you guys head inside there, you can see this is a pretty common looking shop. Looks like a general store. It's got some stock shelves behind a big long counter that he had to walk around to get to the front door, and a little open area in the front with a couple of knickknacks and tables of stuff right there in the front. And Maenalus is kind of waiting to like get all of you guys inside, and then he'll walk in behind you. So everybody heading in?
I think so.
I sure am, yeah.
All right. So you guys dive along inside there and are greeted by Stavos.
Stavos, you're so cute! Stavos!
Stavos!
I love you, Stavos.
What a trustworthy looking fella. I love him.
I would trust Stavos. I would.
So he's there and he's like, do you need elixirs, potions of some type? You seem back on your feet, but what can I help you with such an emergency?
Well, I think first order of business is, do you have a cure for lycanthropy?
And he kind of looks at Kay and like, you're bleeding clearly, and then Bran's got your blood on his cloak.
Stavos.
And he's just like, are you in what, lycanthropy? No one wants to cure lycanthropy.
It's a long story. Don't ask questions.
Do you perhaps carry any greater restorations or remove curses?
Remove curses, like a curse from the gods? He seems like mind blown, like he can't wrap his head around what you're saying.
Great.
I know this is hard for you to believe, but it's important for people to make their own choices, and my friend here is not interested in
did not consent to being bitten.
So you see him pick this kind of amber liquid off the shelf, and he walks over and he walks over to Kay and he starts like kind of moving your pauldron, like he's unbuckling it, and like he wants to see your wound, you know?
Yeah, Kay is gonna kind of like, hold his arm out a little bit, but he can't hold. It's kind of held at like this awkward angle because he doesn't want to move his shoulder too much because he's in a lot of pain. But he is letting Stavos unfasten his pauldron, get a look at his wound. He'll move his cloak back as well.
Okay, so he as you kind of reveal, like the tooth marks just puncture holes and the kind of gashes that you have in your shoulder, like they're getting healed up. They gave you a lot of healing earlier, and he puts kind of this amber liquid on what looks like a super itchy cloth, and he like puts it in there, and it's kind of like rubbing it on your shoulder. And it
puts on a fucking Brillo pad. Scrubs.
Bad texture.
Yeah, it kind of seems like they don't got the finest of rags for this sort of stuff. But you got to get in there and scrub it out. So he's a little hard with it, and it definitely like burns like crazy. It's like putting alcohol on an open wound.
Yeah, Kay's eye twitches.
And he's like, I know it hurts. And then he kind of rubs it and he pulls the cloth away. And you realize that what he gave you was very much akin to a potion. And he has healed your damage just slightly.
For how much?
Actually, you roll a d8 and we'll add 2 to it.
Okay. D8. That would be 3.
Okay, so 5 total.
Incredible. I am at 37 HP. I am almost back up to full HP.
Nice.
All
right. Woo. And he kind of holds the rag there for a second and like puts your cloak kind of back on top of it, and he's like, leave that there for a bit, and we'll see if it helps. But you were bitten by a wolf on the full moon?
Yes.
Wow. What an honor. I hear it's supposed to be really great.
My friend, I cannot tell you how dishonored I feel. Kay is like saying this, and he's staring into the middle distance. He's not making eye contact with Stavos, just holding this cloth there. I feel as if I am being slowly run over by a cart. I don't like it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry to hear that.
No,
and he kind of looks at Maenalus.
Okay.
Yeah, and Maenalus looks back at him, and he's just like, Stavos, I know you know. I know you've heard the tales that people talk around the city about the savagery that goes on in the palace. Those rumors that you hear that spread around down here, I assure you, they're the sugar-coated versions of what goes on with my family. They have taken these outsiders and abused them. And he pulls his cloak back to show his shoulder, and Stavos is shocked. And he's like, I've been sent many times for my trials. I refused them. I refused to kill simply to satisfy a bloodlust of an ancient tradition that is a curse and a bane upon my family. And for that, my father took my own arm. And he fed it to these outsiders.
Hey, gags.
Rinverhi grabs a random bottle off the shelf and pops it open and just starts drinking.
Just starts drinking.
What?
No,
Kay looks at the Prince of Maenalus. What?
And he kind of looks back at you guys with a bit of an angry but apologetic face at the same time. And he's just like, they mostly feast on the flesh of outsiders who come here. People foolish enough to wander into Arcadia. But
may I ask,
brought me
for
along.
your utmost, I must ask for your utmost blessing when I say your father needs to be slain.
If only it were so simple. And as I said, the cruelty and wickedness of my family goes beyond curses or killing people. To punish you for being an awakened, for coming here and even representing the old gods. He knew that a fate worse than death would be for you to betray them, to disrespect the Xenia by eating human flesh. The same thing that got him cursed in the first place.
What?
And he turns to Rinverhi and he's like, you asked me how my family became this way. In the olden days, outsiders would come and, often seen as threats, would be slain. During a time of famine, my father decided to eat these slain wanderers. What started off as desperation became a sort of sick entertainment, a game to play with outsiders. Long ago, it was said that one of the gods themselves came to Arcadia to see if the rumors of King Lycaon were true.
My God.
And when my father served him a plate of his brethren, he cursed my father there on the spot. For my family forever to act like the animals we are, to be the animals we act like. As I said, I resist this with all my might. You must as well. When the next full moon comes, you must resist the urge to kill. It will be the most difficult thing you've ever done. But it does get easier. And he kind of reaches out and puts a hand on your forearm because your shoulder's messed up. Mm-hmm. So he puts a hand on your forearm and he's like, but over the decades it will become easier.
No. This can't be. It can't be this.
A hug.
Oh, he's kind of
Thank
shocked
you
by this.
for all of your help.
And he kind of is like, okay. Sure.
I can't be this. You can't.
Yeah. Oh, Rinverhi's not giving much of anything here.
Nyx, what are you thinking?
She is. She's disturbed.
Mm-hmm.
Like anybody would be.
Yeah.
I think that she doesn't have a lot to add at this time, because all of the information that she would have asked for is kind of being given. So honestly, she's just kind of sitting there looking nonplussed as she normally does.
Yeah, Kay is distraught. Kay is holding his face in his hands, and he's just, I can't be this.
So
I'm supposed to serve Asteria. The lady, oh God.
What are you saying, Dusk?
So, I'm going to say something, and it's going to be a little insane, but I think that's just how my feral little forest boy is.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to go this alone?
What? What did you say?
Do you want to go this alone?
What are you talking about?
Bran, make a dexterity saving throw.
Oh.
Fear.
That's a 23.
23. Okay. So you feel just this shockingly fast hand slam into your chest and just grab the front of your tunic and just ball it up, right? It's trying to move you and be aggressive, but you're just kind of and you look up and you see Maenalus is holding the front of your tunic with his one good hand there, and he's not very strong. You're a much beefier dude than he is. But you can see this stone-faced kind of anger in his eyes. And he does get your attention. And as you look at him, he just kind of shakes his fist at your chest and is like, this is no time for bravado. You think, it's just something fun to suffer through. Are you insane? Why would you even say such a thing? That you would take on this curse to tough it out with your buddy? And if you can't, someone like you, your size, your strength, your knowledge of the hunt, you would massacre people. Don't be a fool and put your pride above the safety of others. And he just kind of lets you go meh.
Oh.
Yeah. Kay looks forlorn, and he's just again feeling like hollow because he wanted to fucking show the king what for. The king insulted his friends, his family, and he has the gall after all of this to attack them. And Kenopsia does not like to be disrespected. And so he doesn't handle the disrespect. So he attacked. It's just that maybe he could have been a little faster. And I think he feels horrible. And he is, watching the Prince Maenalus like talk to Bran this way. He's just like still holding this rag to his shoulder, and he just kind of lets it fall away. And he's just looking at the floor.
I would have to agree with the Prince, Bran. It wouldn't do any good for more of us to endure this curse. And decades is not an option. I will not let Kenopsia face this for even a month. I don't understand how things work in Arcadia, but we are outsiders. We have options. We will find them, even if we don't know what they are. And Kenopsia and Rinverhi will approach Kenopsia and just rest a hand on his arm.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have faith. You have to have faith that you can survive this and beat this. Because I have faith in you.
May her light shine.
Trust in the light.
Will like put a hand over his own chest, and he's just gonna like hold it there and listen for his heartbeat, just to remind himself he's alive.
I know you're stronger than this. You're stronger than the pettiness of a violent king. We will get through this. You will get through this.
Wretched, ugly beast. All of them.
That is not you. We will not let that become of you. And like Rinverhi, he is just going on blind faith here because he's like, this is a terrible situation. And I think him clinging to his faith is also like, he went quiet hearing like, you guys ate people.
Oh yeah, you guys ate a part of Prince Maenalus. What the fuck do you mean? What are you talking about?
Yeah. Gross. Yeah, and it's just like a cascade of horrible shit has been happening ever since they came here. And like for Rinverhi to just suddenly speak up now and, just basically preach, you have to have faith. It's just, he's also like trying to reassure himself here.
Right.
As well as like Kenopsia and everybody else.
Gotcha, yeah.
Kenopsia, who has had faith prior, but that was in the dream. Is he faithful now? And I think that is another part of his deep-rooted fear. Will Asteria look upon him and bless him? Or is he just going to be another dying star in the sea of stars,
Does he express that doubt? Or he's just thinking about it?
No, he's just thinking about it. It's very personal. And he's already feeling super heavy. So he's just like, no, keep that inside of me.
Yeah. So a couple of things are going to sort of happen at the same time. So I just want to go over them all together. The adventure continues in the next exciting episode of Pristine Dreams. Thank you for listening. Visit us on our YouTube channel at D20 Dreamland. Leave us a review, like, share, and subscribe to catch the rest of the adventure. Until next time, sweet dreams.